All right, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, as you can see on the screen here, we've got some spoilers to talk about today. So spoiler warning, guys, spoiler warning right now. We will be talking about those in today's video for OP-10. And the rest of the content for today is also OP-09. So if you're not looking for OP-08, this is probably not your video today, guys. But don't worry, I'll cover OP-08 stuff more later for sure. Okay? All right, so with that in mind, let me go ahead and break down this video for you guys so you know what to expect. First things first, we're going to head over to the lab, and we're going to check out a game of Purple Black Luffy versus Enel. Okay, that should be a pretty interesting matchup. Probably a lot to learn from that one. So that's first. After that, we're going to head over to 10 different spoilers. We're going to head over to the spoilers and check out 10 different cards from OP-10. All right, so we got a lot to learn there as well. A lot to check out, a lot of spicy cards. And, excuse me. After that, we've got 2 games on the sim to check out of me playing Blackbeard. Okay, so we're going to be a little bit all over the place in today's video, but it should be a lot of fun. All right, guys, you know what you're getting into. Let's dive straight into this. I'll have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I will have all relevant deck lists and like links and stuff like that in the comment section below. All right, guys? Okay, let's do this. I'm very excited for today's video. And just so everyone is aware, I have not really read through these spoilers, so this will basically be a first impression for me. I only saw that they came out, and I have not really read much of any of them. I think I've read a few of them, but we'll talk about that more when we get to it. Okay, first things first, guys. Let's head over to the lab. If you are a new listener to the channel, if you're a new player and you're checking out the channel for the first time, at the beginning of every one of my videos, I try to put in a segment that we call the VV Lab. And in the lab, what we do is I basically, analyze someone's gameplay from the community. They submit these, and it's a totally free service. If you're interested in me reviewing your gameplay, it's very simple. All you have to do is record one of your games, upload it to YouTube, and then give me the link over on the VV Theory Discord under Review My Games, and I give you the thumbs up when I see it, and I throw you in line, and you're, whenever it's your turn in line, you're up. So, yeah, so for any of the new players, it's very simple. If you have any questions, by all means, just ask in the comment section below. All right, okay, so let's go ahead and dive into this game, guys. So I got the volume off. Let me make sure the speed's on 2x. It is, and the quality's up, and we're good to go. Okay, so first things first here, it looks like, let me make sure we are in 2x speed, right? Yeah, okay. Sometimes the intro's a little quick, or a little bit slow. For people choosing if they want to go first or second. And it looks like the Purple Black Luffy player has chosen to go first. I think I like that. I think that's fine. I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. I don't know what Enel wants to do in OP-09. So again, spoiler warning, guys. We're going to be checking out OP-09 and OP-10 stuff today. So, be very cautious if you don't like spoilers. So, going first, let me say this. I do think Purple Black Luffy wants to go first if they get the other 3 costs, Zoro especially, but this Zoro's not bad either. So we're about to see how good the Enel player is on this next turn right here, because I think a good Enel player will not attack right now, because notice the card we have on the board. That Zoro Juro, for those who are not aware, it's a 3-cost 4K character with a when attacking. If you have 3 or less life, you can ramp a Dawn card when attacking. Okay? So, in other words, if the Enel player does not attack face, then, we can't ramp, right? That's why, and let me say this just to piggyback off that idea. There's another 3-cost Zoro that's coming out, and I believe this one's coming out in OP-09. If not, it's an ST-18. I get them a little bit mixed up. But I think it's OP-09. There's a new 3-cost Zoro. It's a 3-cost 5K with no counter. This one has a counter, by the way, the one on the board right now. There's a new 3-cost 5K Zoro that has a on play. It says return up to 1 or more Dawn to your Dawn deck. And then you're going to set a Dawn card back into play as active. Okay, so remember, guys, for those who are not aware, the Purple Black Luffy leader has an effect that says if you were to return 2 or more Dawn cards this turn, you can return 2 Dawn cards, 1 active, 1 rested. So with the new Zoro, we'd be able to ramp a Dawn this turn. However, right now we're at the mercy of our opponent's knowledge here, and let's see what happens. So we're going to swing 5 into 5 here. They're going to take it. It's usual for Enel to take early damage. They kind of want to get down to 1 life where they can stabilize. 1 or 2 life is where they stabilize. Okay, so let's see what they do here. So in my opinion, the Enel player should not attack. I have no idea if they attack or not, guys. I don't pre-watch these games. So, okay, now this is interesting here. So what they've done is they've played out a Bonnie, And now they're saying, okay, if you want to turn on your when attacking effect to ramp a Dawn, you're going to have to pay me, 2 cards where I, draw 2, trash 1 effect from the Bonnie. That was well played by the Enel, and I do like that. So now they get to keep the pressure on their opponent, and they get to punish them for taking the life that they're going to try to benefit from with the Zoro's effect. That was actually a very nice play there. Let's see what happens. Okay, remember now, if we counter out here, okay, I don't think that's the worst play in the world, by the way. But remember, now that we've countered out, we cannot gain gain a Dawn from the 3-cost 4K Zoro's effect. But hey, that's not the end of the world either. We don't have a lot to do in hand. I personally would have taken that, just number 1, so we can draw a card instead of trashing a card to counter out, and number 2, so that we can get our Zoro's effect next turn. Yes, they'll get to draw 2, trash 1, but it is what it is, right? You do have to, that was well played by our opponent. Okay, so now we're going to draw a card. We do get a Frankie here. Play that out, return 2 Dawn. Now watch what happens. We return 2 Dawn, trash a card to draw 2, and then we gain 2 Dawn back, 1 active, 1 rested. So we didn't actually go back in Dawn because of the Purple Black Luffy Leader's effect. So we're going to swing for 5. We're not going to gain a Dawn because we are at 4 life. But again, that's not horrible, right? That's not like that's not a massive deal or anything. So swing 5, they counter out of 1, they're going to take the other one, and of course they get a trigger. That's not exactly something to be surprised about anymore, guys. Let me just read the list off for you guys of triggers that Enel can potentially get right now to pop a 4 or less or a 5 or less. Rocket Boots Luffy, that's what just happened. Nami pops a 5 or less. The new 5-cost yellow Nami from OP-08 pops a 5 or less. And I think there might be 1 or 2 others that I can't think of off the top of my head. Something like, for example, like the 4-cost promo Zoro can pop a 4 or less, I believe. Guys, that's a lot of trigger KO. That's, I would almost expect it at this point. And look at this other trigger they have. They have Bonnie on the field right here. That's a draw 2, trash 1 trigger. Okay, so they're going to play out the Gadatsu, and they're going to pop our 4-cost guy. Ooh, okay, that was massive. Then they swung for 5 with the Bonnie, which is going to draw 2, trash 1 for them because we did not have a KO effect in our trigger to stop their effect. And we do get a 2K counter. They're going to swing for 5. We should counter out of this, I feel like. We do have, a 2K. What is the other card we have in our hand over there? So we have a 2-cost Nico Robin blocker. I'm surprised we didn't just use that because it was only a 5K attack and a 5. But not a big deal. That's a player preference thing. Okay, so return. So, okay, pause. Lots going on. So what happened there? Oh, I see. That's why they didn't get rid of that card. They wanted to cheat out the blocker with the 7-cost guy. That does make sense. That's fine. So what we did is we played out 7-cost Luffy Taro. He has a Dawn -1 effect to play out a 5-cost or lower Straw Hat character from your hand. And again, that's on play. So you play out a 7-cost, and then you play out a 5-cost or lower purple Straw Hat character. I think it's purple. I'll have to check on that. But the point is he cheats out a 5-cost character. That's the main thing that matters. Excuse me. So we're going to swing 5 into the Bonnie now. If I'm the Enel player, I'm probably countering out of this because I can see on my opponent's side of the board, there is nothing more they can do this turn. They are completely tapped out on Dawn. They do not have a rush character. They have no activate mains. I personally would save the Bonnie here, but let's see what happens. They may or may not. I have no idea because, again, like I said, I don't pre-watch these games. Okay. So waiting for our opponent here. If they don't counter out of this, it means they probably don't have a 2K counter, and they do. I feel like that was the right call from the Enel player. Okay, now Luffy does pose a pretty big problem. However, this is their 8 Dawn turn. And there we go. Just as I say that, they're going to have access to the 8-cost Katakuri, which can just move our Luffy out of the way. Okay, that was a pause. Okay, we have to put the glasses on. We have to bring out the chess accuracy meter. I believe what we just saw there was just a straight up, it's at least an inaccuracy or a mistake. I don't think that was like a good move versus an excellent move kind of thing. I don't know why we would not push their Luffy off the board and take all of the momentum away, right? Because we have a full board. Why would we hurt? And we have 2 life. That's the other thing that's extremely relevant. We have 2 life. This turn, if I'm the Enel player, I would have swung 5, swung 6, and then I would have Katakuri'd to push the Luffy Taro back to life. That's exactly how this turn would have gone for me. I couldn't imagine. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below, but I honestly think that was an inaccuracy, leaving a 7-cost 8K on my opponent's board when I had the answer to it. Okay, again, that's just me personally, but I would. There's no way I would not have pushed that Luffy Taro into their life. Because we're Enel, right? Like, if you're the Enel player in this situation, you're not at jeopardy of losing the game next turn, especially if you push the Luffy Taro into their life. They've got a 2K blocker. And if you had swung 5, swung 6 first, and then done the Katakuri, then the value would have all been there. And if they don't get a trigger from their life that pops the Bonnie, which I don't know if they even run any triggers that can pop the Bonnie, and it doesn't matter if they do, right? Because it's a card that didn't go to their hand, and now we remove their Luffy in the same breath. Okay, back to the game. I do think that was a pretty big mistake there, guys, personally. Let's see if it costs them that. I mean, who knows? I don't know who wins this game. So swinging for 6 first, that's odd, instead of swinging for 5. So typically you want to swing for 5 and then 6, right? And they take one, they would have counted out the other. It ended up not really mattering. But now, see, so here's the deal. First of all, I'll read this card right here on the board. This is Chopper. He's a 2-cost, 3K, 1K counter on play if you have 8 or more Dawn in your field. Set up to one of your characters with 6,000 power or less, and with the Straw Hat type as active. Not as big a deal. They're probably just reading that. I don't know what they'd want to do with it right here. But let me say this real quick. Now we've given them a target to attack into, like the Enel player. By not pushing the Luffy Taro back to life, now they have an 8K body to contest our Gadatsu with. You see what I'm saying? So we've completely... The Enel player, I say we. The Enel player has completely destroyed their momentum in that play there. Because they had a chance to get the whole board to themselves, swing 5, swing 6, and they'd have a 3-cost 4K, a 5-cost 6K, and an 8-cost 8K. And now, like I said, because they didn't push back the Luffy Taro, they've given... You know, the Enel player has given the purple-black Luffy player the initiative to attack into board and rip cards from hand or cards off the board, which is just... It would have almost been better if they had not even swung with the Gadatsu. That's all I'm going to say, because now, like I said, they can start generating value in that way. All right, let's see what happens. So we got the Chopper here. Our hand's actually pretty bricked right now. So that card right there can pop a 6,000 power character or less. All right, and they're going to use that. Return 2 Dawn. Pop that. Gain 1 rested, gain 1 active. And that's like our whole turn, right, for Purple-Black Luffy. We have nothing else. Okay, let's see what happens here. Yeah, I mean, now, see, that's... I don't know if I would use that. I'm going to pause real quick. I'm sorry, guys. I don't think I would have used Gum Gum Lightning there. I would rather just eat up the cards from their hand and then sit on 2 Dawn to use it if I don't KO it with what's on the board. Because think about if you swung for 6 into it, they give you a 1K counter, and then you swing for 10 into it for a 2 Dawn investment. If they counter out of the 10, that would have been a 2K, 2K, 1K, right? Or some kind of combination of that to get to go +5. Perfect. Now we still remove it, and we just rip their hand, right? We just absolutely rip their hand, and we'd still be able to leave 1 Dawn active for the Gum Gum Giant if we need to save our characters. Okay, our leader or character, whatever. All right, but it looks like we're going to go aggressively into the Jewelry Bonnie here. We'll see what happens. Into the life, which will give a Jewelry Bonnie. Swing for 10, and then swing for 8. We're doing things in a little bit weird order here. So draw 2, trash 1. Let's see what they trash. We're still waiting for our opponent here to trash a card. Okay. And they trash a Gadatsu. That's a good choice because, well, actually, I mean, they could have played it this turn to pop our Nico Robin and try to go for lethal, right? Maybe not lethal, but it is an option. Well, no, not lethal, excuse me. At least be able to knock down some of their board. So right here, yeah, 10 into 8. I would have done 8 into 8 first, but that's fine. Use the, trash a card from hand, trash the Chopper, return 2. There you go, +4. They were figuring it out. Very, very good. Sometimes it's hard, guys. Let me say this real quick. I will say sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out the interface for the sim, but it is very intuitive, and you'll get it if you just mess with it a little bit. Like, it comes very naturally. Just try things, and make sure you read the card, because anytime that the card has, like, a specific order on it, the sim, like, has to go in that order, I believe. It probably depends on the card, but you'll see it as you mess with it. Okay, so now 8 into 8. Okay, I think that's fine. Okay, at the same time, I'm not a huge fan of it. Let me say this right here. See, the fact that we're even... Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I can't drop it. The fact that we're even having to swing 8 into 8 and 10 into 8 is just wild to me. This game would already be over or something very close to that if they had just used the Katakuri to push back the 7-cost Luffy. That's all we had to do. Because even with 1 Dawn attached to the Luffy, remember, Katakuri pushes back an 8-cost character. So it's not like he was safe. We can just push that card back to their hand. But one thing I will say, it's a good thing. It is a good thing they got rid of the Gadatsu, because they cannot pop the Nico Robin. Because like I said, I forgot about the +1 cost on there. Okay, so now they're going to probably easily 2K counter out of that. They used a 1K counter. Very nice. Swing for 5. Yeah, just use the counter. Yeah, use the 2K counter. I do agree with saving that. And now, like I said, for the Enel player, why not just go to face at this point? You've already decided you're not going to go for the board. So just go face. It's like your only chance here. And instead, going 8 into 8, that's a 1K counter. And then 10 into 8, That's like that was a, you know, a Gum Giant. Whereas if you'd gone 8 into 5 into the leader, that's probably a blocker, and then 10 into 8, or excuse me, 8 into 5 would have been the counter, the Gum Giant, and then 10 into 5 would have been the blocker, and then you still have your 5k attack from your leader. I just feel like they're in a rough position now. I will say that now the Enel player, it's not over. Again, I have no idea who wins, but it's not over. It's definitely not over. And they're actually giving us a chance. The purple black Luffy player, they're giving us a chance to get back into this game by not attacking into our life. So hey, we will absolutely take that. Okay, so maybe swing 10 into the what's his name, into the Katakuri. Yep, and then this should be met with a 2k 1k or a 0 cost 3k. There is no way they should let this card go, and that's what happens. A 0 cost 3k, and now 6 into 5 for the leader. That's fine. I would take this. Yep, they take it, no trigger, and let's see what happens now. Okay, the Enel player, I still feel like the Enel player is favored right here, but if they start going for this Luffy again, I'm gonna not understand what's happening. So he's gonna have to pop. The only target is the Nico Robin because of the buff from the purple black Luffy leader's effect. Attaching 1 Dawn to your purple black Luffy gives all of your characters +1 cost, or it might be Straw Hats, but it gives your your characters. It says your characters +1. Now we're talking. So now they've decided, all right, we're going 8 into face here. We're going 10 into face here. But is it too little, too late? Because now, okay, swing 10 into 5. Gonna have to fully counter out of this. This is brutal. Yeah, I think you have to use the counter, don't you? Because 5, 10, yeah, you have to get rid of the event or you won't have enough to get out of this. Right? 0 and 3 puts us at 8, and then the 2k, and then the 1k. So exactly enough to get out of this. Had our opponent been more aggressive and gone at face last turn, they would have won this game. Had our opponent, you know, I'm talking about the Enel player, of course, had the Enel player pushed the Luffy Taro out of the way, I just don't think this game would have been close. So, I mean, this is still, you know, a lot to learn from this game, guys. I'm not trying to be negative. Please understand that. But now, what do we do here? Are we just going to have to go face? And then attach all the rest to the leader? Okay, we have to go face here. We have to go face. I think, right? They're counting out the Dawn like this. So let me pause and tell you guys the fast way on how to do this. Okay. So here's how you do it. If you're trying to do the equivalent amounts of damage, like the highest possible amounts of damage to go for lethal. If you're trying to stagger it, here's how you do it. So we have a 5,000 power character, right? A 6,000 power character and an 8,000 power character. You add those up. So 5 plus 6 is 11. 11 plus 8 is 9. And then you add, or 19, excuse me. And then you add 10 to that because we have 10 Dawn. So that's 19, right? Divide 19 by 3. Okay, well, that's, was that 6 times 3 is 18. So it'll be, hang on, did I mess up? I've got something else. 5 plus 6 is 11. 11 plus 8 is 19. 29. I don't know where I got that from, guys. 29. So I think what we'll be able to do here is, so divide 29 by 3, and that's going to be, what, 9k, 9k, 11k maybe? Maybe we go 9, 10, 11 or something like that. That is, guys, that's rough, right? We're actually in a very tough spot here. So let me try that one more. Hang on. So 29 divided by 3. So 9 times 3 is 27, and we'll have 2 left. So I think we could go 9, 10, 10, or maybe we want to go 9, 9, 11. We'll have to see what happens here. Okay. Here we go. So they're going to do 7. Okay, if this goes through, though, that's actually a very good sign. So let's see what happens for our opponent. They're going to use their leader effect, 9, 11, 11. So they chose to do, or excuse me, so they chose to do 7, 11, 11. Is that going to be it? Hang on. This might be game, guys. I don't know, because no triggers. You know, they didn't get a beige. They did not get a you're the one who should disappear. This might be game, guys. Hey, sometimes you got to go for it, right? Sometimes you just got to go for it. Okay. They go 1k, 2k, 1k, 1k. No way. The rest are going to be bricks. They've got to be, right? Yeah, I was going to say they have 8 cost and 9 cost and 10 cost characters in the deck. So that was a really good game that the Purple Black Luffy was able to capitalize on the mistakes of the Enel player. That was a really, really good game. Very educational. Awesome submission there. Awesome submission. OP-09 just looks like so much fun too, guys. Like Purple Black Luffy. Guys, of course I'm going to have to mess with Purple Black Luffy very soon here. But that was a really good game. Good stuff. Thank you guys so much for submitting these. It's become like a mainstay, a staple for the channel. Okay, now give me a second to get set up, guys, and we're going to go ahead and check out some spoilers. Okay, let me move my face over. That'll help. Yeah, move this over to here. Let me hop off this, and we will hop over to... Gotta give me just a moment to get set up here. Got to bring up the slideshow, and full screen. There we go. All right, you guys ready? Here we go. Spoiler warning. Spoilers. Nope, you know, this is your last chance. Your last chance to turn away. There they are. Okay, so first things first. Okay, the way I recorded this, I'm going to have to move my head to the top here. So, first of all, big shout out to the guys at the Discord. It's not on my VV Theory Discord. I mean, I have the bot that shows all the new cards when they come out, but big shout out to the guys over on the translation Discord for the One Piece TCG for the West. As you can see the names here, this guy Kai is the admin, and you'll see the names as they go across. Big shout out to them. Thank you guys so much. It's a huge service to the community doing stuff like this, just like the Sim is. Big shout out to Batsu and all that stuff, guys. Okay, now first things first here. Let's go ahead and read this. I'm gonna zoom in so we can see it a little better. There we go. So we got Smoker here. This is a red-green leader. This is the very first card of OP-10. This is OP-10 001. Okay. 4 life, 5,000 power, punk hazard, and navy type. And by the way, yes, this is Smoker. Apparently, guys, this is Smoker. I don't know what's going on there. I'm not even. Maybe I don't want to know. I'm not sure. You guys tell me in the comment section below, as long as it's nothing crazy. Okay, so punk hazard and navy type, red green as the colors. Okay, interesting. So we know all of the black cards currently are like the main color for navy, with some blue support, right? There is some green support as well, because I know X-Drake is in there. And probably a few others. Like, you know, because remember, Isho was kind of a thing with the black-green, but there's not a ton of green Navy support currently. However, I do think in OP-09, with the stuff for Lim, I believe there was a Sakazuki that was just released, a green Sakazuki, that might get some usage in a green Navy. You know, they're going to need a searcher, though, I will say that. Red-green, as far as I'm aware, I don't believe red or green has a Navy searcher yet. So that could be very interesting. And I think there is like random like red Navy cards like Garp and Kobe. So I'm very interested in this one. This is actually, you know, I'm not really a red-green player. I thought Law was very cool, but this seems like it's going to be very different. Let's read the effect. Your opponent's turn. Okay, on your opponent's turn, that's the effect. It does have an activate main we'll check out in a second. Your characters with the Navy or Punk Hazard trait gain plus 1,000 power. That is not something to dismiss, guys. That's actually very relevant. Is being able to survive the crackback from your opponent, especially when they start going at your board. So that effect is not terrible. It's kind of weird. It's a little different, right? But I don't think it's that bad. Now, I don't know of any Punk Hazard cards off the top of my head, so I don't have any idea of what's going to go on there with the Punk Hazard stuff. We'll have to see what kind of support that gets for red and green. That's not a type that I know off the top of my head. Now, activate main once per turn. Now, here's the main effect, I'm sure. If you have a character with 7,000 power or more, set 2 Dawn as active. Okay. If you have a character with 7,000 power or more. Okay, I have to look it up real quick, guys. I'm gonna look up Sakazuki real quick because there was one most recently in green. It is from OP-09. And he is, okay, hang on 1 second, guys. Let me, like, go out of full screen mode for just a second so I can show you guys something. So this is the character I was talking about. Let me make sure you guys can see this okay on the recording. Okay, yeah. This is a green Odyssey Navy character, Sakazuki. It's a green 6-cost 7K. With on play, if you have 2 or more rested characters, you can KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. Now, it is your characters who have to be rested for this effect, but who knows? There could be something there. There could be something here. We'll have to keep this in our mind when we're looking at these new cards. Okay, let me go ahead and put this back over here. I messed everything up. There we go. All right, now, let me get back to full screen. Zoom in. Here we go. So with that in mind, if you have a character, main activate once per turn. So this is an activate main once per turn. If you have a character with 7,000 power or more, set 2 Dawn as active. Now, it doesn't say base power or more. So think about it like this. If you have like a 5K, let's just say you have a Kuzan on the... Well, hang on. We can't do Kuzan because he's from the black card pool. But let's just say we have a 4-cost 5K red or green Navy card. Or Punk Hazard card, right? It could be Punk Hazard as well. But let's just say we have one of our cards, right? That's... And excuse me, guys, I'm sorry. They don't have to be Navy or Punk Hazard to be running this deck, but if you want the buff for them, they do have to be those types. But let's just say we have a Navy or Punk Hazard card that's a 4-cost 5K in this situation. Well, we can attach 2 Dawn and attack with them and then get the 2 Dawn. Well, actually, we'd activate main first just in case there's a crazy trigger, right? And just in case there's any kind of crazy trigger, we're going to activate main first and set 2 of our Dawn as active. If we had to use those for other effects, maybe for searchers or something like that. This is a very interesting leader. Let me tell you right now, guys, this is a really cool, very, very interesting leader. I want to see the support that it gets because that's going to determine everything. Let's just be completely honest, guys. The support for this will determine everything. Right? Let me go back. Yeah, okay. I was just making sure that was the first slide that I had. Okay, now I can move my head back down to the bottom because this one's like arranged in the way that I'm used to seeing. Okay, next up, guys, we've got Caesar Clown. This is a red-blue leader. Very cool. Red-blue. That's, hey, I think we've only had 1 leader that's red and blue. Well, 2 now. We had Vivi for a while, and now we have Marco. All right, let's see what else we're getting for red and blue. So this is Caesar Clown. He's a 4-life, 5,000 power, scientist punk hazard type leader. Dawn ×2, when attacking, you may return one of your punk hazard type characters, with a cost of 2 or more to the owner's hand, and you're going to be able to KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 4,000 power or less. Okay, like I said, guys, I kind of glanced over these. I haven't really sat down and read these and like tried to analyze them. Well, actually, I did with some of the Dressrosa cards. Let me say that. The Dressrosa stuff I spent more time on, but we're still getting to those. Overall, guys, I think this effect is potentially very powerful. It's going to come down to the support, because this is Dawn ×2 when attacking. You're going to have to bounce back one of your punk hazard type characters that cost 2 or more, and then you're going to be able to KO a 4,000 power less character. Again, we'll have to see. I'll tell you what comes to my mind, like right off the top of my head, is like comboing this with Rayleigh. Now, I understand you can't bounce back the Rayleigh, but I don't think you'd want to, right? That's an 8 cost character. But the point is, imagine if you're on a 10 Dawn turn where you go, okay, slam down Rayleigh after swinging however you needed to on the board, slam down Rayleigh, and now put the remaining 2 Dawn on your leader, swing for 7 at whatever you have to, bouncing back one of your little searchers or something, that as long as it costs 2 or more and it's a punk hazard type, and then you could pop a 4,000 power or less character. Well, with Rayleigh, that's going to be a 7,000 power or less character, and then that means the Rayleigh will be able to do minus 2,000 to another character and maybe pop like a 5,000 power character in that way. So I think there's a lot of potential here. I think this will largely depend on the support it gets. I will say this right now. Okay, as long as there's not too much leader locking or type locking, I'm very curious to see what kind of power manipulation they give red in OP-10 as a red-yellow Sabo main. Okay, as a red-yellow Sabo player, I do like my power reduction, I'm not going to lie, because that allows me to turn on other characters' effects like Lindbergh, both Lindberghs, by the way, the red and the yellow one now. Cards like who we were just talking about, Rayleigh, and stuff like that. So, you know, jet pistols, you name it. The more efficient, like, powerful utility power reduction we get, the happier I'll be. So I will be watching this very closely. So, excuse me. I'm not going to rate the cards just yet, guys. We're just, you know, kind of looking over them. All right, let's keep going. Let's pick up the pace a little bit here. We've got another leader. I think we have 4 leaders to go over today, guys. We've got Sugar. This is a red-purple leader. Red-purple, okay? Red-purple. We have not seen that in a while since, like, the three captains starter deck with Luffy, Eustace Kid, and Law. But this is a 4-life, 5,000 power leader, Don Quixote Pirates type. Okay, and this one has a end of your turn. If you have a character with a Don Quixote Pirates type with a power of 6,000 or more, with a power of 6,000 power or more, I think they had a little typo there or something. If you have, I think it should be, if end of your turn, if you have a character with a Don Quixote Pirates type and with a power of 6,000 or more, set up to one of your Dawn as active. Okay, that's an end of turn effect. Interesting. Okay. So I'm wondering, well, that will open up, I mean, this is red-purple, right? So that opens up the access, access to like a Blast Breath, or opens up access to like a Radical Beam or something. But who knows, maybe there will be a red or purple Don Quixote Pirates 1-cost event. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Could be interesting. Otherwise, I'm not a huge fan. I feel like that's more of a green effect with, like, you know, the Dawn manipulation with, you know, setting it active and stuff like that. But who knows, maybe that's more of a purple thing. Not sure. But then once per turn, opponent's turn, once per turn, when you activate an event, set up to one of your Dawn from your Dawn deck as active. Okay, so I wonder if this is, like, meant to be comboed in ways, like, you guys hear me out here. So what if we, okay, let's say we have a 6,000 power character or more in play, so we get the EOT effect, the end of turn effect. So we have 1 Dawn is active. Like, say we totally tapped out for 10 Dawn for playing whatever. Maybe we even played out a 10 cost... no, well, we can't do Doflamingo because this is red and purple. Let's just say we played out a 10 cost character of some type that was Don Quixote... that it was Don Quixote type with 6,000 power or more, okay? And we get 1 Dawn set back as active at the end of the turn. I wonder if we're supposed to be comboing something like this with like a 0 cost event to get to 2 Dawn active so we can have access to our bigger events like the 2 cost 4K package or the 2 cost 4K stuff. I'm not sure. Or maybe we're just always meant to leave 1 Dawn active and then get this effect at the end of turn to have 2 Dawn active for our bigger effects. But I don't know. You guys tell me what y'all think. Maybe it's also meant to be chained together with multiple 1 cost events. Like, okay, I'm going to use Blast Breath, return one of my, I'll go plus 4,000, and then, when I activate an event, I'm going to set up to one of my Dawn cards from my Dawn deck as active. Oh, hang on. Set up to one of your Dawn from your Dawn deck as active. So that actually works as a ramp, right? Hang on, guys. Sorry, I was kind of misreading that. The way it's worded is kind of funky. On your opponent's turn, once per turn, when you activate an event, set up to one of your Dawn from your Dawn deck as active. Okay, so I think that's actually ramping a Dawn. Someone correct me if I'm misreading that, but that actually seems pretty powerful. It's still a very odd leader effect, I have to say. I'm not like head over heels with this one. I really liked the Caesar Clown one we saw, and I also liked the first one. What was it? Hang on one second. Yeah, Smoker. I thought these were pretty cool. I guess they're just more my style, but I'm going to say this right now. I don't think this is a bad effect. I just think it's a little bit interesting. It's a little bit different. We'll have to see what kind of support this gets. That will be the, the overarching theme is, hey, we're going to have to see what support these get, right? And that's always the case, right? The more support a card gets, the more support a leader gets, the more powerful it can become. Okay, we've got Usopp here, guys. This is a Usopp blue-black leader, 4 life, 5,000 power, ranged, of course, right? Dressrosa, Straw Hat Crew type, okay. Your cost 2 and greater Dressrosa type characters have +1 cost. Okay, and there's no stipulation on that, so you don't have to attach a Dawn to your leader for this effect. That is a blanket statement there, guys. Like, you just flat out, your cost 2 and greater Dressrosa type characters get +1 cost. Okay, and then we have another effect here. Opponent's turn, once per turn. This effect may be activated when one of your Dressrosa type characters are removed from the field by your opponent's effects or are KO'd. Hang on, so is that even in battle? So that could even, if this is worded correctly, remember guys, when you lose a character in battle, they get KO'd in battle, right? If you have 5 or less cards in your hand, draw 1 card. Very nice. Okay, so the effect is, let me read it one more time now that I've kind of read through it. This effect may be activated when one of your Dressrosa type characters are removed from the field by your opponent's effects or are KO'd. If you have 5 or less cards in your hand, draw a card. Wow, okay. That's interesting. Now, it does not protect your characters, but it kind of protects your investment in a way, right? Like let's just say they KO your character, right? Or they remove it with some effect, and we have 5 or less cards in hand. Well, we played out a card to put it on the board, right? And then we're going to get to draw a card now that it's been removed. Interesting. So it's not exactly protection. It's more or less a way to, give you some type of return on what you did there if they remove your character. That's a weird effect, I have to say, and I'm not disappointed or anything. It's just a very odd effect. That makes me think they really want you to like either spam the board or just use up counters like crazy to stay healthy. And then the first part's kind of whatever. It does help against decks that are running cost-based removal, which is mainly black and blue, I think. But it says your cost 2 and greater Dressrosa type characters have +1 cost. So if you have like a 6 cost character, now it's a 7 cost. That's actually a very big deal. If it's a Dressrosa type character, now it's a 7 cost in that situation. Well, now it's out of the range of a Gravity Blade, right? So that is actually very relevant. But then again, when they go to remove that character, you're going to draw a card if you have 5 or less cards in your hand. Now, it does look like this is going to need to be a primarily Dressrosa type deck, right? This effect may be activated when one of your Dressrosa type characters are removed from the field by your opponent's effects or KO'd. So it is going to require, a Dressrosa, primarily Dressrosa deck. And then it says, yeah, and that's it. So that's pretty interesting. We are about to look at a lot of Dressrosa support, guys. Like, I think the remaining spoilers we're going to be checking out today are all OP-10 Dressrosa cards. Okay, so let's go ahead and check those out now. I'm kind of trying to reserve judgment on this card because I don't know enough about it. I think after I look over these Dressrosa cards, I'll have a better... I'll be able to tell you guys what I really think about it. Now, I will say with this leader effect, that is actually very interesting that it's like there's no investment required. It seems like Bandai is starting to decide like, okay, having to attach one Dawn is actually too much of a cost to give characters +1 cost. Like, because now you're losing momentum to hopefully not lose the cards you put on the board, right? But think about that logically for a second. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying that the +1 cost is a bad effect. It can save your characters. But think of it like this: if you have 6 Dawn, okay, well I can either play out a 5 Dawn character and then give him +1 with my leader effect, or I could play out a 6 cost character, right? And then I don't need the leader effect because I got the full value. Now, later in the game, it starts really adding up, but hopefully you guys see what I'm saying. One Piece is very much a game of tempo and momentum, and like once you lose that tempo or momentum, or you have to sacrifice it by using effects that have to attach 1 Dawn to your leader or pay 1 Dawn for your leader, it starts becoming very hard to justify, running that kind of deck. The effect has to be incredible at that point, right? The effect has to be so powerful. If I have to sacrifice 1 Dawn, and it doesn't even go into attacking or anything like that, if I have to sacrifice 1 Dawn for the turn to do a leader effect, well, that's 1 less Dawn I got to use that turn to develop a bigger character. And it looks like Bandai might be saying, like, you know what, let's do it like this, where there's no Dawn invested, but we'll put a minimum restriction on it. And I think, honestly, hear me out, guys, this is just me. Hey, I don't work for Bandai. I don't balance their game. It says your cost 2 and greater Dressrosa type characters have a +1 cost. I honestly think it should be your cost 3 and greater. That's just me. I know that might be weird, just the one difference, but I don't know. I think it should have been just like 1 more than that since it's a free effect, but who knows? Maybe it won't matter in the end. We'll have to see what happens. But really, a potentially very powerful card effect, guys. Whenever we're losing a character from being KO'd or from effects, draw a card if we have 5 less cards in hand. It's like, okay, well, let's just flood the board with as much stuff as we can. Keep our hand size low, countering out of everything we can, and then whenever they go to remove our characters, we're just going to draw cards. Seems good. Once per turn, of course. All right, now, let's go ahead and check out the rest of the cards. It's going to be straight-up Dressrosa cards, okay, guys? First up is Rebecca. This is a blue character, 7 cost, 4,000 power, Dressrosa type, of course, with a counter 1,000. So this is a very weak character, so I'm expecting a massive utility effect attached to this, right? On play, if there is a cost 8 or greater character in play, draw 1 card. Okay, so remember, this is an 8 cost character in Usopp, right, guys? Like, check it out. Your cost 2 and greater Dressrosa type characters have +1 cost. So in Usopp, this is just a flat out +1. Like, this will come into play, and that trait, that leader's effect will come into play, and then it will check on resolution. If there's an 8 cost or greater player, or 8 cost. Or a cost 8 or greater character in play, sorry guys, then you're going to be able to draw a card. So this will just draw a card in Usopp, right? Someone help me out if I'm not understanding that correctly, but I'm like 99% sure that's how it will work. Then reveal up to 2 cost 7 or lower Dressrosa type characters other than Rebecca from your hand. Play one of them as active, then if the other has a cost of 4 or lower, play it as rested. Okay, so this is like in my personal opinion, this seems like a more balanced version of like what Gecko Moria does. It's not the exact same. I'm not saying it's the exact same, guys. Please do not misquote me. Because I know some people are going to be like, yeah, but you can play out a 7 and a 4 with this one, right? Yes, that's absolutely true. But the thing is, you do have to have the cards in your hand, right? The thing about Gecko Moria is it's an 8 cost 9k, so it's a massive body. It does not have a counter. This card does have a counter, which is really nice. But Gecko Moria is an 8 cost 9k that pulls cards from your trash. So it's generating value from cards that you've already used, extra additional value, or cards that you were able to cheat into your trash. Whereas this card is saying you're going to have to play them from your hand. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying this is a bad card. It's actually very, very strong. Because, yes, you are going to be able to dump your hand. Well, remember what we just looked at, guys. Let me back up a little bit. We want to dump our hand because we want to get this effect off, right? Seems very, very strong. Guys, after seeing the very first card here and the synergy it has with the leader, that's probably going to be pretty good, guys. I'm just saying, like, it seems like it will be good. You guys tell me what y'all think about these in the comment section below, by the way. I'm just kind of rambling right now. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. This seems outstanding, like a very powerful character, because you're going to be able to play out a cost 7 or lower Dressrosa type character other than Rebecca from your hand. And then, excuse me, you're going to reveal 2 cost 7 or lower characters, right? So you reveal 2 cards. They don't come into play yet. Look at the rest. It says, then, all right, play one of them as active. So out of those 2 7-cost or lower characters, you're going to play one as active. Then, if the other has a cost of 4 or lower, play it as rested. So again, you pretty much have to build around the Dressrosa type for this deck, or it's just not going to work out. Another thing I do like is this reveal idea, because information is very important. So who knows where they're going to go with that. This isn't exactly the greatest usage of that, because it's like, okay, I'm going to reveal you the 2 cards I'm going to play right away, right? But I kind of liked what they were doing with the Whitebeard Pirate stuff, but that stuff seemed like it was not quite powerful enough. Who knows, maybe people haven't broken it yet, or haven't found a way to fully capitalize on it. But at the same time, I think you guys know what I'm saying. I think it's okay to reveal cards like this. In fact, that might be something Blue needs to do more often if they're going to have, you know, some of this. Typically speaking, Blue has like really good card draw, but who knows? I've seen Purple has good card draw in this game as well. We'll have to see what happens in the future. Very interesting. I'm really curious to hear what you guys think about this card in the comments section below. This card seems very powerful. Now let's see what other cards are coming out. I think the first one, I was going to say, if I remember correctly when I was making these slides, right away we're getting a 7-cost card to reveal with our Rebecca, right? Kairos, it's only appropriate that it'd be Kairos. Blue character, 7 cost, 9,000 power, Dressrosa, no counter. This guy is an absolute beater, guys, and listen to this. That's not a vanilla character, okay? Because, hey, there's no counter, so we know it's not vanilla. On play, return a cost 5 or lower character to its owner's hand. So you can return something of your own if you need to, right? If you need to do this. This is potentially very strong, right? It does bounce it to hand, so I don't think it's broken or anything. But at the same time, let's not forget, guys, like, oh, what colors was the leader running? Oh, blue and black? Well, all of a sudden with an Ice Age, with 8 Dawn, think about this turn right here, guys, like Ice Age plus 8 Dawn, okay? Let me go back to where we were. Well, actually, let me go to the Rebecca. We can Ice Age one of the characters. Now they're a 5 cost. Like, it could be a 10 cost, now it's a 5 cost. Then we can play out this Rebecca, revealing this guy right here, and we're going to be able to play it out for free with our 7 cost 4K body. And then this is going to come into play. It's going to bounce a 10 or less if we comboed it with an Ice Age, and then we're going to be able to potentially play out a 4 cost character rested, right? So it seems pretty good, guys. This seems like a very solid card. I'm a huge fan of this. The 7 cost 9K stat line is just absolutely massive, and if we're cheating it out with a 7 cost 4K plus, so and then this is a 7 cost 9K, and then whatever else we were able to potentially play out rested with this effect here, a cost 4 or lower character rested. Yeah, seems good, guys. Hang on one second. Let me see something real quick. Then yeah, okay, so they do both have to be Dressrosa. I was just making sure they had to be Dressrosa. Okay, now next up we got Leo. Leo is a 1 cost, 2,000 power, Tontada Dressrosa type character with a 1,000 counter. On play, you may rest one of your leader or stage. You may rest one of your leaders or stages. If your leader is Usopp, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 2 cards other than Leo that have the Dressrosa type and put them into your hand. A top 5 search that grabs 2 cards, guys. Reveal up to 2 cards other than Leo that have the Dressrosa type and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck and trash 1 card from your hand. Okay, so you do have to trash card in the end, so it's like a draw 2, trash 1. But guys, it is a top 5 search that draws 2 Dressrosa cards, and then you're going to trash 1 card from your hand, whatever you want it to be. This card seems very, very strong, guys. That is a great turn 1 play. You're going to rest one of your leaders or stages, and then if your leader's Usopp, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 2 cards other than Leo and that have the Dressrosa type, and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order, and trash 1 card from your hand. So yes, you do have to give up your leader's attack for the turn, but if you're playing this on turn 1, you're not attacking with your leader anyway. Right? Seems good. And of course, we're talking about this in, conjunction with Usopp. Seems good, guys. It seems very strong. I won't spend too much time on that one. Next, we have Nami. Nami is a black 2 cost 0 power 1K counter Dressrosa Straw Hat Crew type. Activate main. Actually, let me see something with this isn't on play. Okay, so yeah, you would only want to do this on turn 1 anyway, to be honest, guys, so that you can get that the effect, right? Later on, you can still do it, but you're going to lose your leader attack unless you have the stage in play. That's interesting. They would lock this to if your leader is Usopp. So now we can't even run this in like Rebecca. I don't know if that was necessary. I'm sorry. I said we're not going to talk about this card very much, guys. And here I am doing like part 2 for it. But I don't know if that was necessary. And it kind of makes me sad for Rebecca. It's like, wait a minute. This is like an incredible searcher that we can always use with Rebecca because, you know, because Rebecca can't attack. So it would be perfect. But oh well. I guess they're doing it for balance reasons. Not exactly sure about that one. Okay, now back to Nami. And remember, the Leo wasn't on play. Nami has an activate main here. You may rest this in one of your leaders or stages that has the Dressrosa type. Draw 1 card, then trash 2 cards from the top of your deck. I'm a huge fan of this. So rest this in one of your leaders or stages. So I think we're going to have to run the Court of Colosseum in this deck, guys. It only makes sense in my opinion. Because if you're going to be able to get value, first of all, from all your characters attacking right away, you know, at least attacking into the board, right? They could potentially attack into the board, maybe not face, obviously. That's different. The Court of Colosseum lets you use your Dressrosa characters, I believe, can attack characters the turn they enter play. It's worded in a better way than that, but you get my point. You can't attack into their face. You can attack into the board, though. You know, even if the character doesn't have rush, it basically gives them rush to attack into other characters. So with this card right here, though, you may rest this in one of your leaders or stages that has the Dressrosa type. Draw 1 card, then trash 2 cards from the top of your deck. This seems like a great utility card because you're just going to, all right, turn 1, we'll just rest this and the leader because, again, you can't do anything on turn 1. You can't attack on turn 1. So we're going to activate main, rest this and my leader, and then I'm going to draw a card and trash 2 off the top. So the card replaces itself, and then it's going to block, right? Because then they're going to attack into it. Because if they don't attack into it, they're in deep, deep trouble, right? Because if they neglect this card and leave it on the board, okay, well, I'll tell you what if I play out the stage this next turn for 1, and then use this effect again to draw a card, and then I'm just going to smash him with my leader still. Or maybe I don't even attack with my leader, I just draw cards, right? I think this is a card they're going to have to respect. It seems very solid. And actually, see, now that's one thing. Hang on a second, guys. That's actually pretty crazy. So I just thought of this, guys. I think it'd be pretty crazy if you're going second. No, okay, so yeah, you'd have to go second in order to do it. Never mind. I was going to say, what if they don't have time to attack the second time? But no, this is a 2 Dawn play, so they will be able to attack next turn if they went first, because they'd be on 1 Dawn going to 3. You're going to be on 2 Dawn going to 4 at the start. But still, really good, really, really solid utility card. Okay, we got Tony Chopper here. This is a black character, 2 costs, 0 power, 1k counter, Dressrosa Straw Hat Crew type. Activate main. You may rest this in one of your leader or stages that has the Dressrosa type. If your opponent's hand is 5 or greater, your opponent trashes 1 card from their hand, then trashes the top 2 cards of your deck. Guys, all right, you may rest this in one of your leaders or stages that has the Dressrosa type. And if your opponent has 5 or more cards in their hand, they have to trash a card from their hand. Seems good. And then you're going to trash, so you're going to fill up your trash, right? Which is what we want to do with black cards for Rebecca, right? Or even for Gecko Moria later in the game. We'll have to see if we even run that. But yeah, this seems good, guys. And it's an activate main, so it's going to be playing around cards like, you know, the new what's his name? Not Gecko Moria, Blackbeard, Marshall D. Teach. It will be, and so was the last one, right? Activate main and activate main. So these cards will be playing around the new Blackbeard. Seems good. Okay. I don't have too much to say about this one. Making them trash cards. This will probably be a solid. You know, you do have to rest your leader for this or a stage. So if you don't have a stage going, this card doesn't have as much value because you're giving up a leader attack to make them trash a card from hand. When it's like, okay, if I just swung for 5, they're gonna have to trash a card from hand or give me their life card, which I'll take that every time too. So still a solid card, but I don't see it really being played as much more of like a 1 or 2 of. But who knows? We'll have to see how things go in the future. All right, then we got Frankie here. Frankie is a 4 cost, 5,000 power, Dressrosa Straw Hat, counter 1,000, blocker. When KO'd, play up to 1, cost 3 or lower, Dressrosa type character rested from your trash. And that does not check for color. It only checks for type and cost. It has to be a 3 cost or lower Dressrosa type character, and it'll come into play rested from your trash. So here's an idea with the new Dressrosa Rebecca. Guys, we already have 2 targets here that we could use. Now, we already knew it. Well, hang on. Actually, I was going to say we could already cheat out Rebecca with this card, but we can't, right? It says reveal up to 2 cost 7 or lower Dressrosa type characters other than Rebecca from your hand. So this card will not be able to reveal a Rebecca and then like the, let's just say the Kairos we just saw, and it won't be able to cheat those 2 out. It can't do that. It can do the Kairos, but it cannot reveal a card with Rebecca. And then you're going to, and remember with the wording, guys, play one of them as active. Then if the other has a cost of 4 or lower, play it as rested. So you won't be able to cheat out the Rebecca. However, we do have a card we're going to be able to cheat out perfectly with it in this new Frankie. So think about that play, guys, where we go, okay, on our 7 Dawn turn, let's say we go first. Let's, like for this example, just say we go first. Okay, play out Rebecca. It's a 7 cost 4K. It's nothing special. But then we reveal the Kairos and a Frankie. And now those are both coming into play, right? One's coming into play, the Kairos is coming into play active, and the Frankie's coming into play rested. Oh man, but what happens if they KO the Frankie? We don't even get to use it. Well, number one, then it acted as a blocker or a way to eat up removal. And look at that, guys. When KO'd, we can play out a 3 cost or lower Dressrosa type character card rested from our trash. So, seems good, guys. Seems good. And that's the last one. So, Dressrosa, blue-black Dressrosa got some major support. I'm a little bit disappointed that this is locked to Usopp when I feel like this card would have been so nice in Rebecca. Like the actual normal, you know, the blue-black Rebecca leader. But that's okay. You know, they do that kind of stuff for balance purposes, I think. But yeah, this one, guys, remember, in any other deck, this probably, I mean, who knows? We'll have to see if people can make something work in other decks. But look at this card, guys. If there is a cost 8 or greater character in play, draw 1 card. Well, guess what? Guess what the leader does? Your cost 2 and greater Dressrosa type characters have +1 cost. So when it goes, so when you play this card, it goes on, you know, into play, right? And then it checks for the cost, and this is an 8 cost character. And it doesn't say if there's another 8 cost character or greater in play. It checks for if there is a cost 8 or greater character in play, draw a card. So again, unless the translation's wrong, this will literally trigger itself as soon as it enters play for blue-black Usopp. You're going to draw a card, and then you're going to, so after you draw a card, then you're going to reveal up to 2 cost 7 or lower Dressrosa type characters other than Rebecca. Doesn't care what color they are, right? From your hand, and then play one of them as active. Then if the other has a cost of 4 or lower, it comes in as rested. So I can't wait to mess around with this, guys. This is a leader that looks really fun to me. I can't wait to try this out. All right, that's it for the spoilers. Let's go ahead and move over to the games on the sim. We've got 2 games to go over real quick, and don't worry, one of them is pretty quick. One of them is a pretty quick game. I said this was going to be a short video, I think, in the intro, didn't I? It's going to end up being like an hour long. It happens, right, guys? It happens. Okay, so volume off. Let's get right into this. Let's wrap this video up. Speed, 2x. We're good to go. Okay, so this is we've got 2 games with Blackbeard. This first one's very short. But it's going to kind of give an idea of what Blackbeard's doing to people. It's very annoying. I have not figured out a good list for it yet, but I think it's decent. I think the one we have, the one that I'm playing right now, is decent. It's very straightforward. Notice I'm running cost reduction from cards like Laboon, and that's really about it. And I'm running Ice Ages and Laboons, and that's it, and then Jack. Okay, so they swung in for 9. We actually love that. So real quick, guys, let me pause it. One problem you have playing Blackbeard is you start running out of cards, right? Because you're trashing a card every single turn to turn off their effects, right? To turn off their on-play effects. Well, if we have to trash a card every single turn, we're losing cards. And if they're attacking into my face, well, then I'm getting the card back. You see what I'm saying? Like, yes, I am going down in life. However, it's a gamble. It's a risk we're willing to take to keep their on-play effects from not resolving because they generate so much value. Okay, all right, let's keep going. We'll swing 7 into 6. They 2K counter out. Use the event there to search up whatever that was. I think the 2-cost guy, Doc Q. We're going to use the Lafitte here to draw a card. Top 5 search for a Blackbeard card, or a Marshall D. Teach. We got the 2K counter, Shuria, and now it's their turn. I can't remember how to say his name. Let me see. They're going to swing 6 into 5. We're going to take it gladly. Yeah, Shuryu. Shuryu is his name. Now, we don't have a clean way to deal with this 6-cost character. That card's actually very annoying for us, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and fix our hand with Lafitte here, getting Jesus. I keep wanting to say Jesus or Jesus Burgess is his name. We're going to swing for 6. They 2K counter out, or did they take that? They might have taken that, guys. Okay, then we play out the Burgess here, or Burgess, and now they swing 5 into 1. They can have that. Perfect. They leave the blocker.
They develop another blocker. They could not use the on-play effect to draw 2 trash 1. And then they go ahead and tap out here. But I do want to... Whoops, hang on. I'm going to hit play, and I'm going to... Right here, pause. So I just want to say right now, guys, it's almost like they were saving themselves the trouble. Because right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play out a Laboon to KO the Sanji, so they can't even draw cards with it. Because I'm going to play out the Laboon and pop it with Doc Q, who can pop a 1 or less. And then with the remaining 4 Dawn... honestly, I could just do whatever with it. You know, start swinging, start doing whatever. But I'm going to trash a card at the end of the turn and shut off their leader attack. Now, I think they left a little early, but like I said, this was a quick game. They just left early because they didn't want to deal with it. That's going to be the effect of it, guys. I think this is going to be... I think Blackbeard or Marshall D. Teach will have a very similar effect. Not the exact same. Not the exact same. But I think it's going to be a very polarizing leader to play against. Kind of like how Nami is. Where it's like, oh, cool. None of my cards work now. Right? And I think it will have that effect where it's like... It's going to annoy some people, but hey, guys, it's something we have to learn how to play around or play against or whatever. Okay? All right, we got one more game. We got a game versus Katakuri. Okay, now I will say this right now. Blackbeard or Teach or whatever, I think he's going to be pretty decent against Yellow. That's not to say he just automatically wins, but I think he's going to have a very favorable matchup into Yellow, probably like a 60-40. We'll have to see what happens. Okay, so they go ahead and play out the Parasparrow. I didn't have to use the leader effect on the first turn because what are they going to play, right? So I go ahead and trash a card. I play out the Burgess here, and now they cannot use any on-play effects. They're going to swing for 6 into 5. I do want to take one of these hits, so I think I give them the 2K counter here, so that way I can take the 7K. Okay, 7 into 5. We get a trigger. This is my age. I'm going to do a top 3 search and grab Doc Q, or whatever. I think I grabbed Lafitte or something. Okay, and now I'm going to play that card out to do some searching. We'll go 5 into 5. I'm just trying to rip cards from their hand or clear out the board. Then we're going to swing for probably 6 into 5. Again, we're just getting 2K counters out of their hand, and we're not really in jeopardy of losing right now. They take it. We'll use this the Searcher, and then we'll play out the whatever we get, or unless, you know, or whatever we can, which will probably be the Laboon now. Yep. So I use make sure to use the leader effect at the end, guys. But here's what I did there. I had a 4-cost play lined up, but I was hoping to get another Burgess card, because Burgess just gets bigger and bigger over the course of the game. For every 4 cards in your trash, he gets plus 1,000. That is outrageously strong, and he cannot be KO'd by effects, guys. He can be like bottom decked, but I believe he just can't be KO'd. Okay, so I have one on the board right now. He's a 4-cost 6K. I've got a Laboon on the board. They're under the effect of Black Hole, where they can't use any on-play effects. What are they going to do? Okay. Just waiting on our opponent here. They're trying to figure out how they can go about this turn. Swinging 6 into 6 here. I am going to counter out of this, so that way they swing more into it. Because I do want to save my Searcher. The main thing so believe it or not, guys, I'm literally just trying to save my Searcher. Since he swung 6 into 6, I'm fine with letting this go. He swings for 12. He can have it. Now I've got my Searcher. We're on 8 Dawn this turn. I can use that effect. Try to fix my hand a little bit. Nice. We got a Doc Q. This card right here is very solid because I can remove the Parasparrow with it. Unfortunately, I couldn't search up the Jack there, right? But I only had 8 Dawn anyway, so... Well, I don't know. I guess then I could have played it for 7, but I couldn't search him up. So we'll do -4 there. Pop him with Doc Q. And then I think I'm going to play out the Katarina. And pass turn after turning off their leader's effect. Okay, what's he going to do now? That's the question. What is he trying to do now? Swinging into... Looks like he's going to swing into Laboon. Okay, well, I'd rather have that. So I'm going to keep the Laboon here, and we're just going to give up the Katarina. He plays out a Parasparrow. He only had 3 Dawn left. That was kind of telegraphed. Play out the Marshall D. Teach, nullifying a leader effect. We're going to, you know, make it... We're going to -4 to the Parasparrow, and we turned off his effect, right, with Teach, so that we KO'd it. He didn't get to do a top 5 search, or top 3 search. We swing in for 5, he takes it, or whatever we swung in for. Yeah, I think it was 5, and then he gets a trigger Satori. We have 1 2K counter in hand. Now, we did use our leader's effect to turn off his on-play, so he can't use any of his on-play effects. Any of his gain life effects, he can't do anything right now. Or even on-play KO stuff, he can't do anything. So it's between 11 into 5 there. I'm going to let him have that. And now, guys, I mean, this is just a bad place to be, right? So I think we're going to swing 5 into Satori here. Yep. He counters out of it, and I think I just want this card off the board. So I'm going to do a top 5 search. We'll grab another Marshall D. Teach. Seems good. And right here, I'm going to trash a card. or well, first I'm going to -4, then we're going to pop the card. I can sit behind the blocker here, and then we're going to trash a card from our hand, a 2K counter to turn on the leader effect. And watch this next turn here, guys. Watch this. This is very interesting. They slam down a Onami. Well, guess what? I'm going to go ahead and just take that, right? And they're going to leave the game. Why didn't it banish my card? Because the leader effect turned off the on play. So they weren't able to on play give their leader banish. So I gladly took that hit, and now they're just going to leave the game. So they have a Charlotte Linlin in their hand. That would be absolutely incredible in this situation if I had ever let them play it. But I'm just not going to let them play it. You see? And that's where it gets really, this deck becomes really powerful and it gets really ugly. So next turn, what I would do is I would play out. So I'm going to draw a Doc Q for the turn, right? And then I'd play out the Marshall D Teach, and I would just trash the Doc Q, swing in with a little boon, swing in with my leader, trash the Doc Q for the turn to turn off the any on play effects. And look what their next card was. Their next card's a Tinlin. It doesn't matter. They don't get to gain a life and have me lose a life because of what the leader effect does. Really, really powerful there. But hey, we got it. You know, we pulled it off in the end. And yeah, that's just a taste of what the deck can do. I'm not saying this is even the best version. Speaking of which, just go ahead and check out the version I'm running. This is just a version I just literally threw a bunch of Blackbeard cards together and then added like Laboon, Jack, and Ice Age. No real creativity here, guys. Oh, let me move my camera. Nothing too crazy. You guys see it right here. I have seen people. So Paul's gonna read this card, guys. It's a main that can pop a 4K. Excuse me, a cost 4 or less, and it negates their effects, right? So in other words, if there's like an on KO, it can get around that. However, I've seen a lot of people on the sim running this card right here, Shigan Finger Gun or Shigan Finger Pistol, and this is probably a little better. Just trying to be honest, guys. This card's probably a little better because it helps fill up your trash, and if you're filling up your trash, it makes cards like this stronger. Right, your Burgess. Okay, the Doc Q has been really strong. I like Van Augur, but he's been a little bit impractical because I just feel like there's never a great time to play him, especially over a card like Katarina Devon, where I can just, or Devon, Katarina Devon, however this is meant to be pronounced. You can just play this card out and you've got a blocker immediately. Next turn, it's a double attacker. The next turn it has Banish. And look at this, guys. They're both 5 cost. They're both 6Ks. They both have 1K counters. And then this one only has the activate main rest this to give -3 to a character. But the on KO is decent. Like on KO to draw a card, because remember, guys, you're trashing a card every single turn with Marshall D Teach. There's probably some other room as well for like messing around with the idea of running this guy here, the Marshall D Teach 3 cost 4K, 1K counter. Now he's not searchable for Lafitte because he can only search up Blackbeard Pirates, and this is my age can only search up Blackbeard Pirates as well. Well, here's the thing. This is a Whitebeard Pirates version of Marshall D Teach when he was younger, right? So I guess a little bit of a spoiler warning for those who might not know that. I couldn't imagine people not knowing that yet. But anyway, it's a 3 cost 4K, 1K counter, activate main, rest his character. If you have 3 or fewer cards than your opponent's hand, draw 2, trash 1. There might be some idea to mess around with that. We'll have to see. But yeah, that's about it, guys. All right, I'm done. I'm done yapping. I'm done rambling. This short video was only an hour long today. You guys know how I do it. All right, so let's go ahead and bust out the playmat page here. Big shout out to everybody who supports the channel, guys. If you are liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, or whatever you're doing to help out the channel, I really do appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys. If you bought a playmat, if you're one of these guys up here that bought a playmat, thank you so much for supporting the channel in that way. I hope you're really enjoying those. And last but not least, guys, of course, we got to check out the patrons page. Let me move my head down a little more. Big shout out to everybody who supports the channel by donating to the channel. Thank you guys so much. For anyone who might be interested in donating, I do have links on my page. You know, if you are interested in joining these names right here. You know, these guys, they're literally just donating. That's all there is to it. It's almost like a Twitch donation kind of thing, like a Twitch sub. And there's also a way to become a member on YouTube as well. I think I have like the entry fee at like somewhere between $3 and $5 for beginner level entry, and hey, your name goes right under the blue tier there if you hop on through that way or through Patreon. So, and I have all that listed, in my my about me of my YouTube. All right, that's it, guys. I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Hope y'all enjoyed. Until next time, guys. Peace.